Hi everybody, Craig Freshley here. I believe that if you are going to have a highly productive, highly efficient meeting, it should have a clear written purpose and it should have a clear written plan to achieve the purpose. If you don't have a good purpose for the meeting, consider not having it at all. And if you don't have a plan to achieve that purpose, you might not achieve it. Look, an agenda is kind of a fancy word for a meeting plan. Sometimes agendas are just a list of items. Here's what we're going to do, and it kind of provides an order. But you know what happens with an agenda like that. We usually spend a disproportionate amount of time on the first few items, and often we don't even get to the last items. Having an agenda with timing like this one really increases your productivity and your efficiency. I believe there are 3 reasons for making your agenda with times. Look here. This is a paper version of the same agenda that I just showed you on the chart, and you can see that the timing matches exactly, and there's even a little explanation under each heading so we know exactly what we're going to do for that particular agenda item. Turn the piece of paper over and you will see that there's some nice background information and that there are some clearly stated meeting objectives. These are the objectives that we plan to achieve. Over on the other side of the piece of paper, this is the plan to achieve it. Okay, 3 reasons for having timing on your agenda. Reason number 1, it helps make the plan. When I have to think through exactly how much time I'm going to spend on each of these items, I am much more thoughtful about the order of items. Maybe I'll decide to group some items together. Maybe I'll decide when I think through the timing that we don't even need to talk about all the items. Some can be put off for another time or handled in another way. It really sharpens my thinking in making the plan for the meeting. Reason number 2, it sends a signal to people who are attending the meeting and who are in the meeting as to what we're going to be spending the most time on. When I get that paper agenda in advance, I can take a look and I can see, okay, look, passenger rail in Maine, this is going to be a presentation and it's going to last 40 minutes. But economic benefits of extending passenger rail service in Maine, that's a 70-minute conversation. That's really the bulk of this meeting. Next steps is going to be what do we got, about a half hour for next steps, and it lets me know exactly what to expect before I even get in the room. 3rd reason for having timing, if I'm leading the meeting, it gives me leverage to push the group along. I can say something like, well, our agenda says that we're due to wrap up this discussion just 5 minutes from now, so let's take some last comments on this topic and then we're going to move on. Or I might say something like, look, our agenda says we're over time on this issue. We were supposed to have finished this topic 5 minutes ago, so let's take a few more comments and then we're going to move to the next item. Now look, if I have timing on the agenda, it doesn't mean I need to hold to it to the second or even to the minute. I'm allowed to make changes on the fly. I might go to an item early, I might go to an item a little late, but it provides a touchstone. It provides me some leverage to move the group through the agenda to the next item. And you know what? In almost every meeting that I facilitate, I make a chart like this and I post it somewhere in the room where most of the or all of the participants can see it, but especially important where I can see it, because I am looking at this constantly. I don't want to have to be fumbling through my papers to find the paper agenda. I want to be able to glance at this thing 10, 20, 100 times in a meeting. I am looking at this, I am looking at my watch. I am always keenly aware of exactly where we are in this agenda, how much time is left, and I can manage the discussion accordingly. That's all I got for you today. Here's hoping that you help your group make good decisions.